Yes.
I don't want to say we got, that sounds weird. I was going to say we know each other intimately. That sounds kind of gay, but.
But it is what it is. I mean, right. No judgment here.
When you live in like I don't know what it was, 6x12 cell or 6x10 cell for, a few days with a person, you kind of get to know, there's no like, hey, will you step outside when I use the restroom or, take a number 2. There's none of that. You're in there with them while they're going through it, and you get to enjoy all the sensory things you can imagine that come with that.
Within a few days, I think both you and I were able to diagnose each other that we were having digestive issues. Both at the same time. So
I still have those issues. Whatever. I don't think I ever am going to grow up. So that issue will always be funny to me. But how you been, Barry?
It's been rough. It's been rough, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Me and the wifey just grinding it out, trying to make something out of nothing, and I finally see some light at the end of the tunnel. But man, it's been rough.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think people understand that, and I talk about this, and I feel like sometimes I'm beating a dead horse, but. We got pardoned, and hell yeah, awesome, right? But then what? And people, and I will honestly, even with Stand in the Gap and all that, like trying to prepare the way to help people after the pardon, I did not foresee the amount of hurdles that we would face as January 6th former political prisoners or hostages would encounter and endure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I thought, when I was getting towards the end of my stay in prison, I didn't think that it would be that big of a deal. I'm like, all right, I've only been gone 3 years. It ain't that big of a deal. But then when you get out and it's all hits you at once, it was a hard time. It was a rough time to get my mind to catch up to the reality that I'm no longer in prison. I didn't expect that part because it was just 3 years in my mind. Right. But I guess 3 years is a long time.
Well, to hear you say
not
that
when you're in prison, but there's some guys that I would not want to tell that I had a 5-year sentence to because they were looking at life. But
right. Multiple stacked life sentences. Yeah. No, but when you said that, I'm like, it was only 3 years, and I'm like if you think of how a baby from the time it's a baby to 3 years old, like. That's a lot of time, dude. That is a long time. And then not only that, like especially you got released on the pardon night, right?
From the halfway house. I was in the halfway house for about 2 months.
I remember you had the thing on. You got to cut out. So I remember your video on. Yeah. But and people don't realize that even when you prepare in prison, because I have been to prison prior to January 6th, when you're released, it is a traumatic. It's almost a birthing into the world. It is like a whole thing. Like you go from on commissary in prison, you might have like speed stick, and you might have like. Secret, right? Because they do sell women's deodorant because it smells better, whatever. You got two choices.
Hey, strong enough for a man, but pH balanced for a woman, bro. Yeah. That shit works.
See, people don't know that used to be my nickname, Secret. They'd be like, why do they call you Secret? Because I'm strong enough for a man, but I'm made for a woman. So, no, but for real, like you got two choices for, what am I going to get for ramen noodles? Am I going to get the chili ones or am I going to get the chicken ones? And it's like, and then what we used to do when I worked for Charm Prison Ministry, I would pick guys up from the bus stop coming from prisons to receive them to the ministry, to our discipleship homes. And the funniest thing that I used to do, and it's probably not funny looking at it in retrospect, but I would take them to Walmart and I would take them to like the soap and shampoo aisle. And I would be like, okay, pick some soap, pick some shampoo or body wash. And it was like, it went from the two choices to like Dove and whatever, Irish Spring, to like a whole aisle, like 2 aisles full of soap and shampoo. And it's just like, you can just see like it's sensory overload. And it is a anxiety inducing, it is a very uncomfortable feeling when you've had very limited choices, when the menu is set for you, when you just go to the chow hall and you get what's on the plate and you just eat it, as opposed to, I've got to get ingredients, I've got to cook it, there's a lot of stimulation and things that can be overwhelming when you're released from prison, not to mention life slapping you in the face where it's the bills or, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. It's a very uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah, well, I mean, even just walking into a public area, a restaurant, a grocery store, when you walk into a new area at prison, you are always looking for who might want to stab you or somebody else. Mm-hmm. And granted, we do have an issue with psychotic trans and Islam people doing that, but no, for overall, you're pretty safe in America walking around, not just being randomly stabbed. Those go up in prison. That percentage goes up in prison. So,
no, for sure.
For the first 6 months, I'm constantly looking around. if someone moves too fast, I'm a little, I'll give you an example. I have a little flashlight on my keys, right? And I was in the office with Enrique Tarrio. We were working on something, and I clicked the little flashlight, and it made a strobing thing. Enrique jumped 6 feet up into the wall. He thought it was the cops.
God, yeah.
He's traumatized
from the raid or from
yeah.
But also that's how like cops are like when they're trying to get your attention. Like y'all don't really have them in the feds, but in state in Texas they'll have the picket. They'll have like a picket where the officer's kind of in an enclosed area. And if you're out in the day room doing something, they'll through the glass they'll flash their flashlight at you. So be like, hey, cut out whatever you're doing, or get your attention to bring you over to the picket to talk to them.
In the feds, they just shine it in your eyes while you're sleeping every hour on the hour.
Yeah. Man, I had a friend, Mike Savage, and I just posted some stuff about him on Facebook the other day. But I met him in 2016, and he had done. At this point, I was 43, I think. And I'm like, how long you been locked up, Mike? He said, maybe he had only done 42 years at this point. Whatever it was, he had done more time in prison than I was old.
Damn.
And we were going to this program. It was an 18-month program about the life of Jesus Christ. And, when he got there, he was like, he had a life sentence. And the police protested his release for 36 years because he was a part of a jewelry heist back in the 70s. And he knew somebody got killed on the periphery, not even like in the heist, but he knew who the guy was that killed somebody, and he was the only one that knew, and he refused to tell him. So the police protested his release for 36 years. He finally gets admitted to this program, and I'll never forget. I got out before him. We got out in a group, but it was different days. So I was out a few weeks or months before him, and he gets home. And I get him in the car with me, and I'm like, hey, Mike, we're going to go wherever, Walmart to get you whatever it was. I forget. And he gets in the car, and he's trying to put his seatbelt on. I was like, hey, Mike, put your seatbelt on. We're going to go. And he's like, couldn't figure it out. And I was laughing at him. Like, what's wrong with you? And he goes, Shane, he goes, when I got arrested, they didn't have seatbelts in cars. And I was like... That's how long that man had been in prison, and rest in peace, Mike Savage. He had a quadruple bypass. Him and his brother were having him the same day. He died on the operating table while I was in custody for January 6th. So,
damn,
Mike Savage is a good little old guy, but man, he was freaking hell, dude. He was giving people a hard time all the time. So, good time.
Yeah, I was in at my facility in Miami. There was an inmate I was there with in my unit named John. He had been down 22 years, and he went to the halfway house probably about 4 months before I did. The same halfway house I would end up going to. Old black guy, cool dude. And, he was a bank robber. Oh, wow. And he did 22 years in prison. And then about 4 months later, when I got out and I was at the same halfway house with him, he was still washing his clothes in the sink.
Oh, wow.
Because he had just been doing that for 22 years. Like, hey, John, you need quarters? Because they charge you quarters for the washer and dryer there. I was like, I'll give you quarters. He's like, nah, man. He's like, I don't know how to use a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a normal thing.
I will gladly show you, brother. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, for sure. That is
it's a real thing.
Well, if I don't know if you remember Shawshank Redemption. I think the guy's name was Brooks, who he'd been done so much time in prison. He got out and he could not handle society, and so he ended up killing himself. But it's just, it's something that makes me passionate about prison reform and justice reform. I think that being the leading nation in so many things, like fighting wars for Israel, we should lead the world. We should lead the world in other things. I think we should have the lowest recidivism rate. We should try to see where we can meet these people who are in prison, where we can better meet their needs as far as preparing them for life after prison and investing in them so they can be the best father, husband, churchgoer, entrepreneur, employee that they can be when they get out into society. And so that's something that I'm pretty passionate about.
Well, Shane, you would definitely have some insight into this. I believe that the system is already in place. And here's what I mean by that. The Federal Bureau of Prisons, okay, they take in so much money for all these classes and courses and programs that they are said to offer. They don't offer them. And I can speak from my personal experience at FCI Miami. My judge ordered me that I had to do an anger management program, court ordered, right? Now, the way First Step Act is, as long as you're signed up for the programs, you're still on the First Step Act program. You're still getting that good time, because you're signed up for the program. Well, about a year goes by at FCI Miami, and then I send a message to the psychology department.
Hey, Barry, hold that thought for just a second. We got to go to commercial break. I wasn't even watching the clock. We got about 10 seconds.
Let's do it.
Hold that thought. We'll be back with more Liberty's Cage right after this with Shane Jenkins and my close friend, Barry Ramey. See y'all in a minute.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring, the anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Welcome back, everybody, to Liberty's Cage. Shane Jenkins here with Barry Ramey. And take off, Barry, where you're...
Yeah, so what I was saying was that the Federal Bureau of Prisons offers all these programs: anger management, drug counseling, all family reunification programs, all kinds of programs that can help reduce recidivism levels. Each individual federal prison will tell the government or the Department of Justice, hey, we're offering this program. We have a psychologist that is certified in this field, and they submit this to the DOJ, and they get a substantial amount of our tax dollars to fund these programs. Mm-hmm. In 90% of federal prisons, most of these programs are non-existent. Mm-hmm. They are not doing them. So if the Federal Bureau of Prisons would just stop committing tax fraud and take the tax dollars that they get for these programs, use it for these programs instead of a brand new mahogany desk for the warden in each one of these facilities, right, then they would be responsible for reducing recidivism instead of being responsible for adding to it. Because what's going on in the federal program with these programs, you can ask Peter Navarro himself. He wrote a nice piece about it because he was in the camp when I was in the low, and he experienced the same thing. When I was court ordered by my judge to do an anger management program. I'd never got a chance to do that program at FCI Miami. Not that I give a shit, because I love my anger, but that's besides the point. The prison, well, I was sent there, thankfully, because it was close to home, but they were sent me there because they offered that program. They're receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for this program that they do not offer.
Well, you know, the crazy thing is, too, and if they do offer it, typically from what I've seen, you know, if Barry's hosting the class, they'll have an inmate teach the class. Maybe, I don't know. And then, you know, Barry's he's a crook, so he's going to be like, look, Shane, if you give me 10 stamps or a book, whatever, a book
That's
of
exactly
stamps,
what happens.
then I'll sign you up as you attended all the classes or whatever, $15, $20, whatever it is. So they're not monitoring it. And really, I'm all for guys meeting the requirements that they need to get out. However, if these things are tried and true and proven to help people that go through it, learn the materials and stuff like that, and apply it to their lives, then they need to be doing that. They don't need to buy their way through the class. Just like the 18-month program I went to through Prison Fellowship about the life of Jesus Christ. Man, there was going through that, like it was like 3 6-month semesters of learning about Jesus Christ, and just these different classes and the way they were set up, helped you deal with traumas, helped you apply the Bible to your own life, and the church opportunities and stuff like that really made an impact in my life, dude. It truly changed the trajectory of my life. Like, and I would say that I'd recommend it to anybody. And so I think that there needs to be better implementation of these things. And it doesn't need to be just a bucket for, we're just going to do like the First Step Act and all that stuff is out of whack. I think maybe they're working on it. I have been following, I think he's the new director of the Bureau of Prisons on LinkedIn, and they do post quite a bit of stuff on there. I can't remember his name, but it's worth a look. I did want to kind of shift gears and see, speaking of jails and things of that nature, what did you think about Judge Faruqi apologizing to the White House Correspondents' Dinner attempted assassin, apologizing about the conditions in the D.C. jail?
Well, I mean, let's back off of that for a second and just look at it from the outside. There's always going to be the leftist mind frame that believes all J6ers should be killed and murdered, and they caused an insurrection against the government. Those people are what we like to call, am I allowed to say fucking retarded?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, they're fucking retarded. So there's no changing that. You know what I mean? So to the normal person out there, the level-headed, middle-of-the-road Norma from fucking Montana, if you're happening to listen to this, this individual has been in prison for approximately, a week? 2 weeks? Yeah. A week and a half? All right. The judge that made the declaration that he was being somehow mistreated because he showed up in 5-point restraints, this judge has zero insight into what he's actually been through the last 2 weeks, okay? Him showing up in 5-point restraints, that's standard protocol for a marshal to transport a federal prisoner from point A to point B. Most of the J6ers were in 6-point restraints because they added the black box to our handcuffs. So the idea that the audacity of this judge to compare a 12, 13-day incarceration for this individual that tried to assassinate our fucking president, for him to actually make that declaration that somehow this guy is being mistreated and then have the balls to compare him to us and what we went through for years, I think that really speaks to it. This isn't ignorance. This is deliberate narrative manipulation. This is Marxism at its very finest. It's taking facts, twisting the reality of the story of what happened to make you hate something else by comparing it to what it is not. Right. It is Marxism, and that's all there is to it. And this judge, I mean, I don't understand how the middle-of-the-road American can sit back and just listen to that bullshit and not be pissed off as we are, even though they didn't go through it.
It's a pure example of the two-tiered justice system. I mean, and if you look at the militant left and the Marxist, communist, socialist, all that crap, right? That is from the left. You see that this is one of their militant leftist soldiers, basically, and now he's in a friendly jail for him. We were in enemy territory in the D.C. jail, right? If you would put us somewhere else, and Billy Joe and Tom Bob, Wilson County sheriffs, like they're like, hey, you guys are freaking heroes. We're going to feed you guys good, and we'd be good, but we were not. We were taken to the belly of the beast, to a 97% Biden voting district, the most liberal city probably in America, at least administratively. And so it's not shocking that this freaking judge would apologize. And that's what's crazy, we say it over and over again. Multiple years, solitary confinement, 2 years, no, absolutely. For 2 years in the D.C. jail, I was denied visits with my family. For 2 years, I was not allowed to receive communion, to go to the chapel, to have volunteers come host Bible study. Guess who got to host Bible study? I did. Through a Muslim guard who we befriended at the jail, who I built rapport with, and multiple of us built rapport with him, to where he was like, you guys aren't bad guys, and these guys are suffering in their cells in solitary confinement. I'm worried about their mindset. Shane, if you'll promise me you'll get these guys back in their cell after Bible study, I will let them out. You guys can sit up there as long as you're quietly off, out of the way, off camera, doing your Bible study. I won't bother y'all. And so that's how but it's like we were denied that. We were denied haircuts for a year. We were denied fingernail clippers.
Because you wouldn't take the vaccine.
Right. And even the couple of guys that did take the vaccine, just because they had kids and they wanted to see their family, then their families come to visit and they're like, oh, well, you took the vaccine, so that's good and all, but your family's not vaccinated, so we're not going to be able to let them visit you. And I'm like, what the? So,
and the leftists will sit there and hear what you just said and actually cheer because they're incapable of seeing the bigger picture.
Right. No, absolutely. They don't. They are blinded by their rage and their hatred.
A lot of us were moved, the process of diesel therapy. I was sent to 14 facilities in 16 months, transferred 14 times in 16 months. Let's take aside the toll it takes on the individual to be shackled, handcuffed at 3, 4 in the morning and shipped on a 17-hour bus ride to you don't know where until you get there. Put that aside for a second. It costs the taxpayer anywhere between $2,500 and $10,000 per inmate every time they move them. So the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons is taking tax dollars simply to torture inmates in hopes that they'll take a plea. They're using your tax dollars to do this.
Throwing it out the window. Roll down the window and just throw the money out the window, because that's what
Isn't it the 8th Amendment that says cruel and unusual punishment should not be utilized, And that's when you're putting somebody on a bus and taking them in a plane 17, 20 hours a day, 14 times in 16 months, that's torture. Yeah. It's absolute torture. And the taxpayer is paying for it.
Just to share some insight or context on that, like when you're like, say I'm leaving tomorrow, like what is it today, Tuesday? Say I'm leaving tomorrow, going somewhere on a bus. So tonight I'll get ready to go to bed tonight. Like 10 o'clock at night, they're going to say, hey, Jenkins, come here. Get your stuff packed up. You're leaving in the morning. And then they're going to come at like 2 o'clock in the morning. They're going to pull me out of my cell because they've got to move me up front to administration so they can put me in a holding cell, change me out of my regular prison clothes into transport clothes. And then we'll sit there. We'll get fed like breakfast in a little tray. It'll be something simple like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and boiled eggs or whatever, bologna sandwich, whatever it is. And then you'll sit in that holding cell from like 2 or 3 a.m. to like 6 a.m. And then they'll transport you. They'll either load you on the bus and then you'll get transported to an airstrip, or you'll just get on the bus and they'll take off where you're going. And then like you'd have basically none of your property. It'll all be catch up to you later. And then when you get to the place you got to go, you'll get off the bus. It'll be in the afternoon. Then you have to get booked in over there. And then you'll get fed some more bullcrap food. But it's like... when you get there, you're going to walk on a yard, you're going to have nothing. You're going to have no soap, no shampoo, no nothing. Like, you're going to have to meet all these new inmates again. You're going to have to get your supply. You're going to have to wait till store day, which may be a week or two away. Then you're going to have to go down there and get all your hygiene, your materials that you need to just operate just normally. And imagine doing that every month over and over and over. It will wear you out. It'll wear you down, and it'll frustrate the hell out of you. So... what do you think? I mean, so what is going on? We had a victory recently. which was the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. I don't know if they've actually implemented the fact that, the DOJ, I don't think they have implemented what did they say? They're going to withdraw the charges, or what do they call that? I forget what it's called.
Drop them. I mean,
drop the charges.
Yeah, just pretty much drop them.
But they haven't actually done that yet.
From my understanding, it's up to the appellate court, but they've already postured and let the appellate court know that they're just waiting for them to say no so they can go to the Supreme Court. And I believe that the appellate court isn't going to want to piss off this administration this early in the game. If we were like 1 year away from the election, I think these guys would be fucked. But I don't think the appellate court is going to want to not reverse what they know is an unconstitutional ruling, an unconstitutional trial. I don't think they're going to want to piss off this administration right now. So I see this happening and not having to go to the Supreme Court.
"250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today."
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from GoUSA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
I'm Shane Jenkins. We're back with more Liberty's Cage. This segment is brought to you by Stand in the Gap Foundation. If you want to help J6ers, go to standinthegap.foundation. You can donate money. You can donate vehicles. You will get a tax write-off for both, and you'll be helping January 6th defendants and former hostages post-pardon. So if you want to help the J6ers, go to standinthegap.foundation. Thank you from Stand in the Gap. Shout out to Zach Reel for pushing that, and then to his assistant Grok, who helped him move the needle a little bit. But that is a. Go ahead.
I just want to say, as far as Zach's story, for those of you who don't know, Zach really fought this through and through, and there were times when people thought Zach was a little unhinged and just needed to chill the fuck out, and Zach said, "Fuck you, absolutely not. I'm going to keep fighting," and Zach won. And I want to not only give a shout out to Zach, but to those listening. Just use that as an example. Don't listen to other people. Keep fighting. Keep fighting until you're fucking dead.
Yeah, never surrender. Never, ever. Yeah, so that was a nice victory, and I don't know if there's more victories coming down the pipe. I do see there seems to be some movement in the election, the 2020 election grand conspiracy arena, and I don't know if. Man, I keep hoping, and every time I do this, I get let down.
Yeah,
but they kind of trickle it out. They kind of trickle it out. It's like, just a little bit of hope. Just going to stream. There's a vague article here. Oh, it's getting ready. It's all about to happen. Get ready. 2 more weeks is what we used to say in D.C. when in the jail. Mike Lindell's like, I've got another appeal about the 2020 election. Go before the Supreme Court next week. 2 more weeks. We're going to have this election overturned. And I was like, oh, please. Because if it overturned the election because it was fraudulent, then just January 6th was justified, and we're going to get out. And it was just like, oh, my God.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. Well, we've ran over our time on our. We're going to go to 24 minutes. We didn't even. We'll have to insert a commercial break in there somewhere. But so, what has been going on in your life? Like as far as if you want to share a little bit of your story, like pardon, like what's going on personally or. Whatever.
Well, we're been working with Enrique and trying to get Warboy Studios off. We actually have a meeting today about potential funding, full funding for Warboy Studios. So we'll keep everyone posted. You'll know by if we get it by how happy we are on social media. But that's basically that. But right now, me and the fiance, we finally got hooked up with an attorney that's serious, and I can't share that information yet, but. What I do know is that we have a law firm that's willing to see our cases for what they are versus just some passive tort claim thing. What happened to my fiance, I hope, and what we hope, and this lawyer I believe now sees what we see. My fiance's case could actually be the key to all J6ers' case. My fiance, as you know, Shane, she wasn't a J6er. She wasn't there that day. She was never accused of being there that day. However, her only crime was remaining extremely loyal to me. And the FBI did not like that. And an individual at the counterterrorism unit of the Bureau of Prisons by the name of Joshua Klob. This has been confirmed by former employees of the BOP who have confided in us, let us know who this individual was. He worked for the counterterrorism unit that I'll now refer to as the CTU. And what he did was illegally used cherry-picked things out of the Patriot Act to be able to spy on our family members who had nothing to do with January 6th, that were not in Bureau of Prison custody. He was admittedly monitoring my fiance's social media. One day I get called to the lieutenant's office, and an SIS officer by the name of Officer Harper had a stack of papers this thick, and it was all my fiance's social media. Okay, all screenshots and things she said, comments she made. My fiance is a very, very kind, passive person. Like she's not passive aggressive. She's not mean. She hates drama. None of her posts had or anything like that. The SIS officer told me that Joshua Klob was going to say that this certain post was a threat to the president and was going to go after her and send me to the communications monitoring unit at Terre Haute. This was all in writing. If I didn't go back to the inmate phone and have her start removing specific posts off her social media. She had to go get a lawyer. The girl was terrified. She was afraid to even speak and say anything. FBI showed up at her door, and this is all because of this one guy, Joshua Klob. Wow. The Fourth Amendment clearly says you have the right to not be exposed to improper searches or seizures, and spying on your social media out of your jurisdiction is definitely a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And now that we know his name, and he went and used his power illegally to spy on my fiance, and we can prove it. We have it in writing. I have the grievances. I have regional that got involved. One of the officers, I believe, was transferred from this facility that was partaking in this. We have it all on paper. And now we got this law firm that's willing to take her case individually. And I believe that once we expose Joshua Klob and what he did at the counterterrorism unit, her case will help every J6er out there.
No, I believe so too. And that CTU is familiar to me as well. We were all placed under the purview of the CTU as being labeled as we were labeled as tier 1. Like, and this is not, I say this and it's not like hyperbolic. We were labeled tier 1 anti-government extremists, which is right up there with Ted Kaczynski, Timothy McVeigh, Osama bin Laden.
Now, here's a fun fact, Shane. Do you know that Grand Prairie, the classification department for the Bureau of Prisons, actually stepped in and said, we do not meet that qualification, and Joshua Kloeb at the CTU made him do it anyway?
Wow, that's great. I did not know that. See, I knew, even when I was at Terre Haute, I thought I was going to the CTU, like the pod that they have. Like, they have actual, I think they have some of the Somali people over there.
The guy from Captain Phillips, the guy that the Somali that did that whole shit, he's there at Terre Haute.
I was going to say, that's where I was at Terre Haute, and I actually live an hour and a half from Terre Haute now, so that's fun. Funny, so let me give you a little backstory. I moved, so released from Terre Haute the night of the pardon. Went back to Houston, right? Lived there the last year or so. The day Charlie Kirk got shot, I met a girl online. Not online dating, on Facebook. I was posting very regularly about that. I was really tore up when Charlie Kirk got shot.
It hit me hard.
She was also distressed. She has a child, a 4-year-old, and she's worried about the whole transgender crap at school and all this. She just was kind of very hopeless when that happened, and so we started a relationship. I ended up moving to Indianapolis. Well, I'm moving my stuff in a dual axle U-Haul trailer. My truck's loaded down, trailer's loaded down. I'm driving like 17 hours from Houston to Indianapolis, and man, I'm like an hour and a half from Indy, and my freaking something snaps on the front left of my truck. My bearing goes out on my truck, the front left bearing. No, I did not.
You didn't grease your bearings.
No lube. And guess what city I was in when my freaking bearing went out?
Terre Haute.
Yeah.
So you were at Terre Haute?
Yeah.
If I would have known that, I would have let him transfer me. Shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So, but you know what? And I'm pretty transparent. I was struggling with drinking, and there's been something that has changed fundamentally in my life, emotionally, mentally, post pardon. Like it happened, the trauma from the DC, whatever it was. I don't know. Something was different. And I was trying to medicate and drink my way through that. And I just felt like since I've moved to Indianapolis, I have been sober, and it has been one of the best decisions I've made. But it was weird. I've been thoughtfully praying about this, like just kind of just talking to God about it. And I feel like my truck breaking down in Terre Haute God was like bringing me back. And he's saying like, he's like, for me, it's like I hear it's like, son, I set you free from right here in this city, and you're coming back here, and I'm freeing you again from these drugs and alcohol, whatever. And now it's like it's been over a month, not a drink, not nothing, and I just am thankful. But it was like him reminding me, like, hey, don't take this for granted. You're in Terre Haute. You were in bondage. You may have been in bondage to alcohol, but you're freed from that now. And it was like just
kind of
like
that.
No, for real. And
that was God. That was directly talking to you.
No, he's reminding me. He's just like, hey, I'm still here. Because that was something, my faith that I think I was able to share with the men in the DC jail was like, I never, in the Bible, these guys, they don't have it easy. Like, a lot of people think, I'm going to give my life to Christ, and it's just going to be like unicorns and butterflies and rainbows, and you ride off into the sunset. Like, I chose the good path. The life is good now. No, Jesus said, they did this unto me, they're going to do worse unto you. So when you accept suffering as a way of life and understand that Jesus called us to that suffering, and it's how you cope and you deal through that suffering, really that shows your character and shows who is on the throne of your heart. If you can exemplify and be an ambassador for Christ through that suffering, then that's who's on the altar of your heart. If you and if you're not, maybe you don't have the right person on your heart. But I just am thankful that God chose me, that he hasn't abandoned me, man. This has been a hell of a journey, and it's not over yet. I'm like, I don't know where the hell I'm going, but if it gets any better, I might pop.
Yeah, I mean, if there is, any J6ers that watch this conversation, I would say to you this: if you're one of those like myself that believe that Christ had a hand in our pardon and our journey and was with us the whole time and was there with Donald Trump at Butner, PA that day. If you believe that, as I do, then I would strongly recommend, and I'm even talking to myself in this moment, all of us need to remember that and give glory to Christ every day that we can in whatever way that looks for. None of us are perfect. We are all sinners. And us J6ers are extra special in that department. Right. But we have to keep reminding ourselves that this is divine. This was divine intervention. And the minute we stop, I think that God because we know better now, God's going to cosmically bitch slap us like we've never been bitch slapped before. And I really encourage all my brothers and sisters, just go to church, man. Just go to church and pray every day and don't stop doing what you were doing when we were locked up. Well, we were at the bottom when we were locked up, and we're no longer at the bottom. But that does not mean that the time for communication with Christ and involving him in all of our lives is over. It's far from it.
No, and
it's just begun.
I would add to that, it's about relationship. And I would say there is no pain, there is no sin, there is no crime, there is nothing that you have committed that Christ did not die for. So cry. If you're having a hard time, a bad day, if you're having suicidal thoughts, cry out to him. Say, God, take this from me. Even Christ said, Father, take this cup from me. I don't want to do this, but he's at the end of the prayer, he's like, your will be done, not my will. If it's your intention for me to go through this suffering and I have something to learn through this suffering, then I will endure it. We will be right back with more Liberty's Cage right after this.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there was nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Welcome back, everyone. Shane Jenkins here with Liberty's Cage with my brother from another mother, Barry Ramey. Happy to have you. Hey, I got this freaking badass nice freaking.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Hoodie right here. I don't know if you can see what that says. What's that say on there?
J6ers did nothing wrong.
It says something down here. I forget what this is. Let me see if I can.
We the people.
Yeah, we the people. Right there you go. There you can see it. Well, maybe you can. There you go. But I absolutely love this thing. It's definitely a conversation starter.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you know where you could find one of those, Barry?
You know, it's weird that you asked that because I do. I think the only place you can get them is on my website at wethej6ers.com.
Huh. I didn't even know I was plugging your, that's cool.
Yeah, I know. Look at that, man. So I don't even get the shameless plug. I'm ashamed. I didn't do it myself.
Well, anything else? I know you and Enrique are doing some work and stuff like that. Anything else you want to plug or?
Yeah, like I excuse me, like I said earlier, Enrique and I we're looking for funding. We may have somebody that's willing to throw us some funding, but what we want to do is we want to get out there before the midterms. You look at what just happened to Savannah Hernandez. She was attacked brutally by left-wing radicals. Cam Higbee has been attacked. The list can just keep going on and on and on. Well, we feel that independent journalism needs to get out there. We need to be in the No Kings rallies. We need to be in their faces. We're not trying to start trouble, but we're trying to show how organized and radical these idiots actually are. So Enrique and I are finally ready to get back out in the field, and we're looking for people to throw some funding at us so we can get out there with Savannah Hernandez, and we can get out there with Cam Higbee. And we're never looking to cause fights or problems, but we won't stand back there while Savannah or Cam are physically battered. We will involve ourselves and intervene. So we can do both. We can do independent journalism, and we can protect our fellow conservative journalists, and we plan to do that. So looking for funding and people to get behind us with that. And things are looking, I think we got some light at the end of the tunnel. And everything that we sell on wethej6ers.com, that money goes into helping Enrique and I go do this stuff. We've also got some signed memorabilia up on the site too. That's pretty cool.
Okay. I was going to say, is there a mechanism? So through wethej6ers.com is a mechanism. Do you have like strictly a donate? Like, is there a give, send, go? Or I was thinking as you're saying that.
wethej6ers.com, anything that is raised on there goes directly to help me and Enrique get back out in the field. And some of that, too, is going to be helping Enrique's legal case coming up. As you know, he has a unjustified warrant in Washington, D.C. because of a civil case matter that is ridiculous. I'm sure a lot of people know the context into that. I won't get into it, but it's public information. D.C. is still trying to fillet Enrique Tarrio. They're still trying to destroy this man. So, we are not going to sit down and take it laying down. We're going to fight back. So a lot of the sales that we raise for that is going to help that as well.
Yeah, if we're going to take it laying down, we're going to be on top.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if that.
Yeah, cellmates for life, brother. I get it.
I think Jeff McKellop and them are still being sued as well. Special Forces Green Brave buddy J6 are being sued as well. I think the lawfare continues.
Yeah.
So I definitely, first of all, I want to be back in the streets whenever you guys go. I definitely want to join. I would like to join that. I was thinking as you're saying that, like, we need men to be shields, especially for the women and the people who are, defenseless. I was thinking like betheshield.com, like, or .gov or .foundation.org. We need to donate now, but that's not a website, so don't go there. I don't even know what that is.
It's probably connected to OnlyFans. I can already see it.
Only dads.
Lonely dad.
Sign up. I'm in my hoochie daddies here on the beach. So check me out.
Dadbod.com.
I was going to make this thing, it was going to be the cargo kini. It's a Speedo with cargo pockets on the side.
Why not? I actually got Tampa, Florida all over it.
It was going to have the Skullet logo on the front, and then it was going to say Trump won on the butt cheeks.
Nice. Yeah. You've got to do it now.
I also had an idea, because in Texas, a lot of people like to put like bull nuts on their trailer hitches. Mm-hmm. So I was going to make Trump nuts. It was going to be like bull nuts, but they were going to have Trump hair. And then it was going to have underlighting on it that said Trump won on the ground. Like when you're driving down the road, it would say Trump won, like in LED lights shining on the ground.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
When you're in prison,
I would put them on my Volkswagen Passat.
when you're in prison, you got lots of time to think about stuff.
Yeah, it is true. It is true.
Well, so what's you guys are married now or fiance?
We're getting married. We're definitely getting married. We actually, this is the first time I'm actually telling anyone this now that I think about it. So me and the fiance.
You heard it here first.
You're hearing it live on Sean. You are the first person to know this besides our pastor, and so here we go. So because me and the fiance decided we want to have our marriage built in Christ, for the last 5 months we've been going to Christian marriage premarital counseling.
Nice.
And we have taken a vow of celibacy for a while to not have premarital sex. So you're looking at a guy that hasn't had sex in 5 months. Okay.
Well, I didn't know you were into women, first of all. So
yeah,
it's
there's that. So I mean, it's been rough, but I really feel that it's the right way. That we want to build our marriage on the foundation of the church and with God involved from the beginning to the end. So we've taken a step back. We've realigned ourselves. We're in a really good place, and we're going to do this right.
I like that. Honor God. That's good, man. That's a huge thing, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
proud
been rough,
of
but
you,
I know it's going to be worth it in the end.
Right. Don't let the wind blow the wrong way.
Yeah, and I've been working out a lot. My testosterone levels are going back up. I quit drinking, and yeah.
Now?
A little hungry.
Now, God? Why now?
Hungry, but you know what, man? So, I'm just a more beast in the gym these days. I can almost see my abs, and I'm 42, so that's a big accomplishment.
No, it's good. Well, speaking of marriages, I missed a wedding that I was supposed to play a major role in because I wasn't living according to, God's calling on my life. And it was a catalyst that I had to miss that for me to make some changes in my personal life, and I am. But you were at that wedding, so how was the wedding, dude? Tell me.
It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was.
And we're talking about Rob Morris and Olivia Pollack, two J6ers. Love on the Run, I think is something
Love on
like
the
that.
Run. I love it. And that's why I'm so proud of them and their story because. And I hate to be petty, all right, but that's me. That's me. When it comes to politics, I'm fucking petty. I can't stand leftist ideology. I can't stand leftists. I don't see a world where we can coexist, okay? I don't want a civil war. I don't want that. I think that's ignorant to want that.
Yeah.
But I'll digress. Now, what Rob and Olivia's story, the fact that they're two J6ers. They didn't know each other. Both of them, Olivia and her brother, what they did, they took the FBI on a run for months. They were in the process of developing an underground railroad type thing to get J6ers out of the country, okay? These two young kids are just phenomenal. Their whole family is phenomenal human beings. And Rob Morris is a phenomenal human being. And the fact that they met each other, fell in love, and have created this amazing life and this amazing story together that's still being written, I know that it triggers the left so bad. Oh my God. Like when they have a baby and they start a family, the left is just going to, explode. And I love that. So that's my motivation to tell their story, as petty as it may be. But the wedding was phenomenal. Mickey, Ashley's mom, was there. We had Nicole Reffitt. Brandon Fellows came running up to me like a bat out of hell and scared the crap out of me. He looks good, by the way. That kid's taking good care of himself.
Yeah.
And just to see all these people there, Enrique and Ethan Nordine came, and a lot of brothers and sisters from the J6 plight, and our supporters that have been with us like forever, like Debbie Ash, who has been supporting us for a long time. It was so great to see all these faces for such a positive reason. Man, it was just like, it was great. The family lives on a beautiful ranch. They had horses. Me and my fiance were playing with the horses. That was the highlight for us. We caught an alligator. I think you saw the pictures. We did catch an alligator. I didn't catch it. I think he was like 10 years old. Little kid caught it. He was the hero in that story. I just grabbed it from his dad.
See, this is new. This is also breaking news. You made it sound like you caught it.
No. I did not catch it.
Stolen valor, you bastard.
Yeah, no, I can't take the credit. A 10-year-old kid caught that alligator. I just received the alligator from his dad.
That's how big it was. It was like, Barry's like, it was this big. It was like, but it was really this big, not this big.
He was a young juvenile alligator.
Yeah, those things are scary. I used to have
but there was one little annoying kid that wouldn't shut up, and I got him to shut up. He peed his pants, but...
You scared him with it, or what?
Yeah, just a little bit. Real quiet after that.
And they called the Child Protective Services on you.
Feel free to use my tactics, moms and dads. It works.
Like, you guys could get married, but you cannot have kids. That's the only rule we're making.
Yeah, well, I'm 42, my fiance's 50, and her tubes are tied. So that's no. But our goal is we want to adopt. When our finances and our future is a little bit better, we're getting ready to retire. We want to find maybe a kid or two, a brother or sister, two brothers, sisters that are in foster care, probably around 12 or 13, that we're told, hey, you're probably gonna grow up in foster care. We want to find kids like that, give them a life, and see if we can put them in school and give them some love before they turn 18.
Well, that touches my heart, dude. I was adopted, Barry, so
I didn't know that. I did know that, actually.
You could get a little Shane Jenkins. I don't know. Hopefully, you get the later years of his life and not the whole early part of my life.
Well, if there's one thing I know about, it's being a little knucklehead, rudrat, thug wannabe punk, and that's what cost me from the age of 13 to 17 to grow up in juvenile hall.
Man, there you go. That's why we get along.
But, a lot of kids I was in there with, Shane, they were adopted too. They didn't have a stable home. They never had a shot. So me and the wife, we definitely want to contribute that way and give 2 kids, maybe 3, a real chance at life.
Dude, I love that, man. Well, I am always, Barry, I'm always cheering for you. I consider you a brother and a friend.
Hell yeah.
A brother in Christ, a brother in life, a proud boy. You are a bro. You're a man's man, and you're my bro.
Absolutely, brother. Hell yeah, brother.
Again, go to WeTheJ6ers.com to get your swag. That's J6, the number 6 ERS.com. WeTheJ6ers.com to get your swag. Thank you guys for tuning in to Liberty's Cage again. And I am your host, Shane Jenkins, and we're signing off with Barry Ramey. We hope to see y'all back next week again at the America First Warehouse. God bless you all. See you next time.
Wrong hand.
There you go.
Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol